Wild Sheep Foundation presents Sheep Shape. On the rocky slopes of British Columbia, Kelsey Burford is charting a new course after a failed attempt at gaining ground on a band of rams.
We just hiked up an extremely steep mountain. It's really cold. And I brought my jet boil up here and we're gonna drink some coffee and some tea, get warmed up before we get on the horses. We're all really sweaty, so we can air out, dry as much as we can, so we don't get hypothermia. It's nasty weather. It's insane. Our guide just said we could get 5 feet of snow, so he's hoping that we get a sheep soon, but you never know.
Kelsey heads back to camp as the weather takes a turn for the worse.
Just getting this goal zero set up, getting some lights. It's gonna get dark soon here. It's pouring down rain. We've got all of our stuff in a different tent. Everything is soaking wet, which is gonna make it very difficult for tomorrow. It's gonna be cold. It's never good to have wet clothes, but there's nothing we can really do about it. Hopefully we can get out tomorrow, but the rain is not letting up, which means it's snowing up high, which visibility is terrible. We'll see what happens. I'm anxious to get out there and get on some sheep again. Had a couple stalks today that didn't come through, but hopefully tomorrow we'll have a great day.
Meanwhile, in Alberta, the land is waking to the warmth of the sun rising over the mountain peaks. But for Chad Hall, it has been a long, restless night of sleep.
A little bit groggy this morning. A little scary yesterday. Had a migraine headache that started developing about mid-morning, and I didn't think anything of it because I don't get migraines. And I just figured it'd go away. And it didn't. It lasted the whole day. It was actually fairly miserable. And couldn't figure out what it was that was causing it. And I was thinking maybe it was altitude sickness since I live, mainly at sea level at Florida. But I haven't had that issue the last, 3 days prior. So, come to find out, I was dehydrated. And I hadn't really been drinking much fluids. And I knew I wasn't drinking that much fluids. I was drinking a lot in the afternoon when we were back at camp. But when we were out there in the field, it's so cold that you just don't feel thirsty. So today, our plan's not going to make that mistake twice, and I'm going to try to get 32 ounces or so of water in the body here at breakfast. I don't want the rest of my trip to be miserable because I'm fighting dehydration the entire time. So I got a good multivitamin here and an altitude advantage from Wilderness Athlete. I'm going to mix that up with some hydrate and recover. So I got some good electrolytes and make sure that we do the trick on alleviating any more of this migraine problem.
With his hydration troubles hopefully behind him, Chad rides on toward the peak where he spots a black bear cruising a distant hillside.
Okay, he's gonna be feeding in that open timber and that broken stuff. I think if we come back up this ridge, go back around and drop down over that knoll right there.
Yeah.
Once we get down about 3/4 of the way down that knoll, we should be within 300 yards. That should be comfortable shooting.
Looks like a big bear.
It looks like a really good boar. I think we should take a run at him.
Alrighty, let's do it.
All right, let's go.
The men waste no time in their search for a better vantage point. They proceed with caution to ensure that they remain undetected in their pursuit.
Dude, that's an awesome bear. It's like a chocolate color to him.
Yeah, that's 650 yards. We gotta get closer than that.
Okay.
Like this kind of wind, we don't want to shoot that distance.
Yeah. Do you see him?
Oh, I can see him.
So you see where this solid layer of green trees are? And then there's an open patch of grass strip. And then there's a ray of sunlight that's dissecting kind of towards the end of it. And there's like
I see him.
Well, that's definitely a grizzly. That black bear must have come across and then bumped into that grizzly, and that grizzly ran him out of there.
Their target has moved on, so Chad and his guide have decided to pack their horses and descend back to camp.
Oh, we got down here, and what we thought was a black bear turned out to be a grizzly bear, so we think. Or that first bear sure looked like a black bear, so we're thinking maybe that we saw him run there towards the end before we started hiking down to him. Thinking maybe he sensed that grizzly and took off. But we tried to get a little closer look at that grizzly bear. Walked down, he disappeared into the timber, and we just never picked him up again. But we're gonna head back before it gets dark. We got a long hike and a long ways down. We gotta lead the horses down that steep slope, so try her again tomorrow.